National Sprint Car and Midget Thrills and Spills captures heart-stopping action from racetracks across the country and features the top midget and sprint car drivers battling to win. Racing gets underway at Jackson Speedway in Jackson, Minnesota. Mackie Heimbaugh charges into turn 2, hooks a rut, and tumbles off the track. Jerry Reichert and Gabby Lusk get together at Sioux Falls Raceway in South Dakota. Reichert takes a bone-jarring ride. Lusk had his bruises as well. Another race is underway at Sioux Falls. Billy Keister rides over a wheel and tumbles into turn 1. Another Sioux Falls Raceway is the fast 3/8 Husets Speedway. Tom Rook tries the crash wall on for size. The fast heat is bump and shove. Kenny Hansen leads but hooks a rut and ends up on his side. Rod Henderson collects the wall in turn 2 and is through for the day. Kenny Hansen wheelies down the backstretch. Kenny gets in the turn a little too hard and spins in front of Todd Wessels. The close action at Husets Speedway is some of the best in the country. Steve Ziegler's right front wheel folds and he gets a little fright time. Hansen is crowded into the wall and brings out the red flag. Jim Smith gets a taste of the crash wall too. There's a tangle on the front stretch and Cliff Quidall is in the center of it. The infield photographers have Steve Dyer covered as he tumbles side over side. Matt Richard takes the lead, but it's short-lived. Dean Brown rides over a wheel and grinds to a stop on the front stretch. John Barger launches himself over the rear of car number 37. Fire breaks out and the car is an inferno. Barger struggles to free himself and finally bails out backwards. The fire crew quickly rushes to his aid and saves him from serious injury. Butch Hansen tries to take the lead on the outside, but there's not enough room. Glenn Berkner rides the wall at Knoxville Raceway in Iowa and collects several cars on the backstretch. The Winged Warriors head for the green flag. There's trouble in the fourth row and several cars are involved. In slow motion, it's easy to see how the crash occurred. 3 cars are locked in a wild tumble. Tommy James and Kenny McCarl were involved. Luckily, all escaped serious injury. The action resumes at Knoxville. Kim Kennedy gets into turn 1 too hard. Knoxville Raceway is one of the fastest half-mile dirt tracks in the country, and crashes happen in a split second, usually involving several cars. Great racing and spectacular action make this track a favorite for fans and drivers alike. Williams Grove Speedway is in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Sammy Swindell leads the World of Outlaws race during the 50th anniversary of this famous half-mile track. Sammy is closely followed by Jack Howdenchild. The track is rough and Howdenchild's charge ends in turn 3. Swindell continues to lead, but is now being challenged by Kenny Jacobs in car number 29. Stevie Smith is third and Steve Kinzer is really flying in fourth. Blaney makes a move on the outside and blows by Swindell and is the new leader. Chris McDermott tags the wall. Kinzer is on Jacobs' tail looking for an opportunity to pass. Steve decides to drive under Jacobs in turn 1 and has the advantage coming out of turn 2. Jacobs pulls alongside. Kinzer is pulling away with 1 lap to go. Steve heads for the checkered flag. Jacobs finishes second. Ricky Hood and Kenny Jacobs are locked in a battle for first place at Eldora in a preliminary race during the 1989 Kings Royal. Jacobs drives to the outside and makes a move to pass Hood. Hood's car veers into Jacobs, catapulting him over the wall. Hood slides to a stop in turn 2. A replay of the crash reveals that Ricky Hood's wing collapsed, causing the car to lose traction, collecting Jacobs in the process. Hood escaped injury. Jacobs was taken to the hospital and held overnight. Kenny lined up another car for the Saturday night show, but didn't feel his chances of winning were as good.
My chances definitely aren't as good as they were last night. We just got to make the best of what we got and just be damn glad we're still here.
Lee Brewer loves Eldora.
Well, it's big and it's fast, and that's what I like, big, fast racetracks.
Sammy Swindell explains what it means to him to win.
Well, it mean I'd, be able to put $50,000 in my pocket tonight.
Lee Brewer and Bobby Davis bring the field down for the start. Davis leads. Brewer is second and Swindell third. Steve Kinzer and Doug Wolfgang are shooting it out for fourth. Wolfgang takes over fourth and charges after Brewer and Swindell. Davis has a straightaway lead. Ed Lynch triggers a wild 3-car flip in turn 1 that takes Swindell and Wolfgang out of the race. Kinzer is riding on the leader's tail and sets up a pass going into turn 1. Davis fights back and regains the lead. Bobby Davis heads for the checkered flag and wins the Kings Royal. Bobby is draped in the royal robe and is the 1989 Kings Royal champion. Mesa Marin Raceway is in Bakersfield. Billy Vukovich is a veteran on this track.
We used to run here a lot back in 86, 87, and 88 with the super modifieds. And we probably ran 10, 12 races here a year.
John Redican and Vern Church set the pace for the start of the CRA main. Rich Fogler is in the fourth row and is tough to beat on paved tracks. It's a little crowded on the backstretch. Vern Church smokes his tire and Fogler moves by on the inside and chases Wally Pankratz. Wally gets loose in turn 3 and Rich makes his move to pass. Wally hangs tough and holds on to his position. Fogler takes the lead. Rich heads for the checkered flag and wins another one on the pavement.
Pavement racing in general, especially the open wheel pavement racing, sprint cars and midgets, it's coming back. It was big in the mid to late 70s and it died for a while, and everybody decided they want to go dirt racing, put their cars on dirt, and now it's coming back, and I'm looking forward to it. I think we put on good shows on pavement, and the guys don't have to work as hard when they go home to wash all the dirt off.
The CRA Midwest Tour raced at Eldora for the first time in 1990. They are known as hard chargers, and more often than not, excitement happens. The replay shows Rip Williams sliding into Jerry Myers' rear tire, catapulting Myers into the crash wall and taking a light pole with him. Myers was shaken, but otherwise okay. Steve Kinzer took his wing off to run with CRA. He proved by winning that it didn't make much difference. He's just as tough to beat without a wing.
I'm just glad that we did go fast, and we can put our wing back on going down the road now.
Bubby Jones won the CRA sprint race at Danville. His son Tony wasn't as successful on the same track. Tony is in a 3/4 midget in the second row in car number 2. He rides over a wheel and takes a nasty flip. Ronnie Ambrose doesn't have much better luck in the next race. The CRA drivers parade their cars for the Knoxville crowd in 1990, prior to the start of the 30-lap main. Bubby Jones is on the pole alongside Robbie Ferguson. Jones jumps into the lead on the start and is followed by Jack Hewitt, Rip Williams, and Leland McSpadden. Hewitt challenges Jones on the inside. Jones and Hewitt jockey back and forth down the backstretch. Jones prefers the high groove and Hewitt takes the low groove. Jack takes the lead and the high groove. Bubby challenges on the inside and retakes the lead in turn 2. Hewitt leads through turn 4. Bubby is on his tail. Jones powers into the lead. McSpadden has taken over second place. Hewitt is third with Williams and Mike Sweeney close behind. Sweeney jumps the cushion and gets into the wall. McSpadden passed Jones on the backstretch and is headed for the checkered flag and another victory. The A-main gets underway at Manzanita. Ronnie Schumann jumps into the lead. There's trouble in the middle of the pack as Danny Lewis rides over a car and flips on the front stretch. Ron Wolf climbs over Ronnie Schumann and takes a spill in turn 2. More racing action at Manzanita as the World of Outlaw drivers take the green flag. 2 cars flip into turn 1. Jerry Reichert is definitely out for the night. CRA takes the spotlight again. Mike Peters loses it and collects John Redican. Starter Tony Otto was injured but was back to flagging races a short time later. A large crowd is on hand for the Peabody Classic. This is the last CRA race at Ascot. Leland always a crowd favorite. Local driver Bob Mealy. Billy Boat in from Arizona. Always a threat, Rip Williams. Hard charger Jerry Myers. CRA champion Brad Knopfsinger. 1990 title contender Ron Schumann. Starting on the pole is Mike Kirby. Schumann and Kirby bring the field down for the start of the 50-lap main event. Kirby leads the first lap. Schumann is second and Kerry Foss is third. "35 laps into the race and the leaders have to deal with lap cars. Kirby is still leading and Schumann is close by in second, trying his best to take the lead. Kirby is blocked in turn 3. Schumann and Foss blast by on the inside. Schumann has a clear track. Foss and Kirby thread their way through more cars. The crowd is really getting their money's worth. Only 1/2 lap to go, and Foss is trying his best to catch Schumann. Ronnie moves around the outside and heads for the checkered flag, winning his third straight Peabody Classic. But this one means the most.
Yeah, this one means more because it pays twice as much. So my wife will be happy about that. We'll get a little more money.
CRA returned to Eldora in 1991, and the Wingless Warriors charge into turn 1. Leland McSpadden is the leader, Frankie Kerr is second, and Jack Hewitt is third. The rest of the field jockey for position. Billy Boat pressures Kerry Foss for fourth. Richard Griffin falls in behind Boat, drives under him in turn 1, and takes over fourth position. McSpadden continues to lead. Bobby Jones tries Boat on the inside. Boat's right rear tire blows, taking him into the wall. He coasts to a stop in the first turn. Jack Hewitt passes Frankie Kerr for second and goes after the leader, McSpadden. Hewitt is on McSpadden's tail and is closing fast. Coming off the fourth turn, Jack makes his move to take the lead. Hewitt slips in turn 2, and both cars are airborne. McSpadden flips over the wall, and Hewitt stops upside down on the track. The replay clearly shows Hewitt sliding into McSpadden, sending both cars into a grinding crash. Luckily, both drivers escaped serious injury. Richard Griffin is the leader and heads for the checkered flag. Leland talks with some of his fans and explains that it was just a racing accident. He feels it could have been a lot worse.
Well, you know, it can always get worse. You could have been hurt. You know, racing's racing, and today's over, and now we go tomorrow.
Several CRA races were held at Bakersfield Speedway in 1992. The fans were never disappointed. Adam Mitchell takes a slow roll in turn 1. Bakersfield Speedway is a fast, tight 1/3 mile track that requires quick reflexes. Scotty Burns spins and Frank Kabakovic takes a flyer. The second heat heads for turn 1. Only the first 4 cars qualify for the A main. Lloyd Kraft started in the last row and will have to pass at least 3 cars to make the feature race. Kraft makes his move on the inside but gets over a tire and is out for the night. The A main gets underway and 20 sprinters charge into turn 1. Leland McSpadden leads, Mike Kirby is second, and Ronnie Schumann third. Schumann is running second and hot on the trail of McSpadden. Ronnie gets a good bite coming out of turn 2 and powers past Leland for the lead. McSpadden doesn't give up easily and stays on Schumann's tail. Ronnie pulls away from Leland and takes the checkered flag. Tim Kraft gets a little over-anxious on the start. Troy Klein runs out of room and rides over Kraft. Mike English bumps his way through. The heat races are inverted and a driver in the back only has 10 laps to move into the first 4 spots. It's important to pass as many cars as possible in the first lap or 2 before the field stretches out. Charging from the back can put you out for the night if the track is blocked. Bob Mealy finds himself in that dilemma as he rides over a car trying to avoid a mix-up. Bakersfield Speedway is a thrill-a-minute racetrack. Always good wheel-to-wheel action. Rick Gaunt climbs a wheel and launches himself. Rip Williams and Jimmy Sills head for the green flag and 40 laps of racing. Ron Wolf is running the low groove in 3 abreast racing. Not much room for a mistake. Wolf makes a little bobble and qualifies for air miles. Luckily, he wasn't seriously injured. Jimmy Sills leads and Rip Williams is second as the field heads for the restart. Jim Turner in car number 28 is trying to move through the pack. Gary Howard tries to move past Turner on the inside, but runs over his left front wheel, sending him into orbit. Sills and Williams are still in command. Turner has moved up to sixth and is about to take over fifth, but found himself leapfrogging into the wall and out of the race. Jimmy Sills has a big lead on the last lap and is headed for the checkered flag. Sills carefully avoids lap traffic and heads for victory circle. Another California Racing Association feature is lined up and headed for the green flag. Tim Green is leading. McSpadden is second. Ronnie Schumann and Jimmy Sills duel for third. It's a fierce battle and Schumann has the advantage. Sills has taken over third. Tim Green is leading but tangles with Lee Yetter and collects Steve Osling in the process. All three drivers are out of the race. Sills is in the lead and would like to make it 2 in a row. McSpadden is hot on his tail and closing in. Sills and McSpadden are putting on a great show. Leland powers into the low groove and charges into the lead. It's the last lap. McSpadden flies through the ruts. Green takes one last shot to get by, but McSpadden wins. Sprint car racing is exciting, fast, loud, and always competitive. The CR8 cars and drivers are among the best in the country. Sprint car racing is also a contact sport. Just ask Mark Sargent and Bob Mealy. Troy Klein and Mike English set the pace for the start of the fast heat. Klein's engine stalls and he's rammed by Rip Williams. Bob Mealy climbs the rear of Williams' car and they're locked together. Williams pulls into the infield and Mealy goes along for the ride. Could this be how sprint cars are reproduced? Mealy is certainly a backseat driver by now and wonders if Rip sees him in his rearview mirror. Williams is looking for just the right place to park. Mealy can't remember when he had so much fun. Walt Kennedy and Rip Williams are in the front row. Jimmy Sills and Leland McSpadden are in the second row of the 50-lap Dave Sanborn Classic. It's the last race of the '92 season and the championship will be decided when the race is over. Kennedy leads. Williams, McSpadden, and Sills follow. Kennedy and Williams are locked in a battle for first. McSpadden is on their tails, looking for a mistake or enough room to pass. Williams finds just the right spot to pass and takes the lead. Billy Vogt takes a nasty tumble in turn 2. The race is restarted. Williams is leading. McSpadden is second. Leland is all over Williams trying to get by. He pushes his way through and takes the lead. Schumann is on Williams' tail in third. first 4 positions are McSpadden, Williams, Schumann, and Kennedy. Mike Griffin hugs the wall in 7th. Leland has a half-lap lead over Williams and Schumann. Kennedy goes wide, and Schumann takes over 2nd. Ronnie is losing ground to McSpadden. The rest of the field is scattered. Leland is on the last lap and is heading for the checkered flag. Leland won both Sanborn Classics and the CRA Championship. This was his first CRA Sprint Car title. Richard Powell brings the crowd to their feet during the Chili Bowl Nationals in Oklahoma City. Indoor midget racing is a popular pastime during the winter months. Steve Hahn is the leader. Terry Holderfield is on his tail in 2nd. Holderfield hooks a rut and tests his roll cage. He was shaken up, but otherwise okay. The race continues, and this time it's Steve Stosa who gives the crowd a thrill. Midget racing is at its best on short tracks. Always lots of passing and plenty of thrills. Steve Hahn provides this action. Next stop is Bloomington, Indiana, a fast little dirt track not far from Indianapolis. Aaron Mosley is in 2nd place, but Bicycles clears the track and flips over a guardrail. He's okay. Ascot is the place to be on Saturday night. Leland McSpadden and Jet Davidson set the pace for the start of the 30-lap main event. Jordan Hermansader and Jet Davidson duke it out for first place. P.J. Jones and Robbie Flock join in for a piece of the action. Hermansader pulls out in front, and it's a 3-way battle for 2nd among Jones, Davidson, and Flock. P.J. powers into 2nd, but Davidson ducks to the low groove and holds on to 2nd. Jones blasts by Davidson in turn 2, and Brad Knopfsinger drives by Robbie Flock. Dennis Hart cartwheels down the front stretch. Hermansader continues to lead. Jones is 2nd, but 3rd is up for grabs. Brad Knopfsinger takes over 3rd. Davidson is 4th, and Flock is 5th. No one is pulling away. The rest of the field is close behind. 1 lap to go, and Jones is working Hermansader over, looking for room to go by. Jordan holds on to the lead down the backstretch. P.J. pulls a Fittipaldi and slides into Hermansader. Jordan goes wide and refuses to give in to Jones. He hits the wall and flips to the flag stand, ending up in 2nd place like Little Al. A record crowd is on hand for the last race at Ascot. Hot laps were almost as exciting as the race. Some drivers were a little over-anxious and ended up watching the Turkey Night race from the pits. Eric Gordon is on his 2nd qualifying lap, trying to better his time. He gets into turn 1 too hard, runs over the cushion, and barrel rolls along the fence. Definitely a spectator now. Jimmy Sills is on the outside and grabs the lead at the start of the semi-main event. Only the first 7 cars will transfer to the 100-lap Grand Prix. Everyone is scrambling for one of those positions. Unfortunately, 5 drivers are involved in a spectacular crash in turn 1 and miss the Grand Prix lineup. This is the last parade lap ever for the Ascot fans as 30 cars are lined up for the start of the 50th Turkey Night Grand Prix. The first Turkey Night race was won by Bob Swanson in 1934. 10 drivers have won 2 times. Ronnie Schumann has won it 6 times. Stan Fox is on the pole and P.J. Jones is on the outside. Robbie Flock and Ronnie Schumann are in the second row. The overflow crowd waits anxiously for the start. This is the last taste of a great tradition. They're on the gas. P.J. Jones shows the way into turn 1. Jones is in the lead. Fox and Flock duel for second. Schumann is close behind in 4th. Fox pulls ahead of Flock. Jones, Fox, and Flock ran 1st, 2nd, and 3rd for the first 50 laps. Fox decided to pressure Jones on lap 50 and was all over him trying to get by. Fox gives Jones a slide job in turn 4 and takes the lead. PJ ducks inside Fox and races side by side through turn 2. Stan is still first. Flock is second and PJ is third, making a hard run on the outside to regain second position. Flock slips a little in turn 2 and Jones flies by. Fox is held up by lap cars and Jones is on his tail looking for the slightest mistake to regain first place. Only a few laps left. PJ isn't able to close on Fox. Brent Kading has moved into 3rd and now has Jones in view. Fox gets the white flag. 1 lap to go. Jones is second. Kading is third. Fox is on his way to winning his first Turkey Night Grand Prix and the last race at Ascot. The checkered flag waves for the last time. Fox, Jones, and Kading finish 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Fox and Jones celebrate in victory circle as the fireworks spell out Ascot 1990. Stan Fox is proud of this win.
When this is the one, this is the last one. It pays the best. We got a new track record qualifying, and Steve just pulled out all the stops. He gave me a brand new car, and we've been working on this program all year long.
The Turkey Night race moved to Bakersfield in 1992. The cars are lined up for the last chance race. Only the first 7 cars transfer to the 100-lap Grand Prix. Two cars get together coming out of turn 2, and it's Bert Folden Jr. into the wall. Keith Boucher in car number 80 is running 4th and tries to leap into 3rd as he runs over the car in front of him. Kent goes into a series of bone-jarring flips and is pretty well shaken up. The race is restarted and the action is furious. Tice Carlson launches himself in turn 2. Another restart and another tangle on the front stretch. 3 more cars are through for the night. Several cars have been eliminated in the first laps of this 20-lap last chance race. It'll be lucky if 7 cars are running when it's over. Corey Kruzman becomes the next casualty when he hits a rut in turn 1. The track is rough and will present a problem. Stan Fox won the 1991 Turkey race and would like to make it 3 in a row. The crowd applauds as 24 cars take the green flag for the 1992 100-lap Turkey Night Grand Prix. Stan Fox has a lead, followed by Billy Boat, Tony Elliott, Jimmy Sills, Paige Jones, and Sleepy Tripp. 4-time Indy 500 winner Rick Mears enjoys watching midget races. Fox is still leading. Boat, Elliott, and Sills are close behind. In fact, the whole field is close behind. pulls alongside Fox, and Tripp passes Elliott for third. Sills pulls past Fox. Tripp makes a bonsai move and passes both of them and is the new leader. You could drop a blanket on the first 20 cars as they race nose to tail. Sills challenges Tripp on the inside. Sleepy puts the pedal to the metal and pulls away. Leland McSpadden is moving up to the leader. Sleepy Tripp's charge ends in turn 3. He's out of the race. Sills inherits the lead and is all alone in first place. Now his job is to deal with lap cars and avoid the ruts. Most drivers are taking the low line or the high line to avoid the rutty track. Sills chooses the high line in turn 3 but catches a rut and tumbles, ending his chance to win. Luckily, he's okay. Tony Elliott is the new leader. Ronnie Schumann and Leland McSpadden shoot it out for second. Leland wins the battle and chases after Elliott. Ronnie isn't giving up and pulls inside Elliott and ahead of McSpadden. Schumann gets a good bite of the racetrack and shoots into the lead. Leland makes it interesting by making it a three-way battle. McSpadden and Elliott won't give an inch. Both want the same part of the racetrack. Leland hooks a rut and folds up the right front of his car. Schumann leads the race and is on his way to winning his 7th Turkey Night Grand Prix. Only a half lap to go, and Ronnie has the track all to himself as he heads for the checkered flag to make it official. Schumann is a 7-time winner of the Thanksgiving Midget Classic. Craig Stevens asked Ronnie if his experience in 100 lappers is an advantage.
Yeah, it is. I've won a lot of 100-lap races in my life, I guess. I've won, the Hut 100 and then all these Turkey Nights, and I like them. It gets an old guy. The racetrack gets slow enough that they catch up with the old guy, I guess.
The Terre Haute Hut 100 is one of several racing classics held each year in Indiana. The first Hut 100 was held in 1953 and won by Mike Nazarek. The Hoosier 100 Classic is second only to the Indianapolis 500. The inaugural race was held in 1953. Bob Schweikert was the winner. The race is held at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. The Hoosier 100 is always fast and exciting. Kevin Thomas slams into the wall during the 1992 race. Leland McSpadden was running the high groove and couldn't avoid clipping Thomas and ended up on his side. In 1981, a second classic was added to the Hoosier Mile, and it became known as the Holman 100. Outlaw star Steve Kinzer won it. Another racing classic was born in 1981, the Four Crown Nationals at Eldora Speedway in Ohio. The Four Crown features midgets, sprints, championship Silver Crown, and stock cars. The race is run in the fall and always leaves the fans with enough thrills to last through the winter. The 1992 Four Crown Nationals was no exception. Kevin Doty, Ray Morgan, and Byron Reed tangle in turn 3. Morgan and Reed flip. Gary Fisher crashes into Reed. The sprint car last chance race was the most exciting. The drivers were racing extra hard to qualify for the 50-lap feature. Brent Kading lost it in turn 4 and triggered a 4-car spill on the front stretch. Let's run this back and take a look at it in slow motion. Brent Kading gets sideways and Bill Rose knocks him into Ray Morgan, Gary Cameron, and Roger McLean. All 4 cars flip violently down the front stretch. McLean was seriously injured but has recovered fully. The best race of the 1991 Four Crown Nationals was the Silver Crown feature. Steve Butler leads through turn 4. Jeff Swindell is second and Johnny Parsons is third. Swindell is the new leader. Butler is second and Parsons is still third. Parsons pulls alongside Butler and charges after Swindell. Johnny moves to the outside of Jeff. Swindell slides and Parsons is bounced back to third. The leaders get into lap traffic in turn 3. Butler slips a little and Parsons takes second place. The first 5 positions are racing nose to tail. Swindell leads. Parsons, Butler, McClure, and Sills follow. Parsons shoots off the second turn and dives under Swindell to take the lead. Jimmy Sills slips under Rusty McClure for fourth. Parsons has pulled away from Swindell and Butler. Steve pulls alongside Jeff and muscles his way into second place. The track is hard and slick. Sills is parked in turn 2. Everybody misses Sills, but Parsons is rammed and sits parked for the day. It's back to green and Butler is in command of first place. Steve works his way through lap traffic and wins the Silver Crown race. Tony Elliott second and Trey House third. Tony Stewart battles for fourth place in number 3. Jeff Swindell has slipped to fifth. Butler is the 1992 Silver Crown champion. The Terre Haute Action Track is the home of the Holman Classic, a tradition since 1971. George Snyder was the inaugural race winner. Steve Butler leads the 1992 Holman Classic. Dave Darlin and Kerry Foss are in hot pursuit. Butler has his hands full trying to hold on to first place. Darlin puts a move on Steve from the inside. Butler and Darlin are side by side going into turn 1. Darlin gives Steve a little slide job and takes the lead. Kerry Foss is third and figures if it worked for Darlin, it should work for him. It does and drops Butler back to third. Foss and Darlin almost come together on the front stretch. Foss really has the hang of passing in turn 1 and powers into the lead. Kerry Foss is the winner of the 1992 Holman Classic. Be sure to get your copy of Sprint Car Thrills Volume 1. It features spectacular sprint car action from 1978 to 1988, plus classic sprints and midgets. Sprint Car Thrills Volume 2 features spectacular spills and great racing from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. From Ascot, Knoxville, Terre Haute, Eldora, the Hoosier Mile, Winchester, and many more. Breathtaking and unbelievable sprint car crashes will excite and amaze you as these drivers walk away. Also, 10 great racing classic videos that spotlight sprint, midget, championship, and stock car racing in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Start your collection now.